In a dark underground fortress, a family of 3 but scared to spend 301 day. What terrible monsters above ground. This is a doomsday horror film that you can only guess the ending once you see the end, and the big reversal at the back is a surprise to countless fans. Who didn't think a doomsday virus movie could be made this way? Before the virus outbreak, Ray's family is happy. On this day, they suddenly see neighbors anxiously packing bags, so they are curious to ask, but the neighbor didn't say much. He just told them to run for their lives. They drove away in a panic before they could ask about the details. At the same time, everyone else drove away from the town as if they knew something was going to happen. This strange scene made Ray feel uneasy, and he was confused and left the town with his wife and daughter. But halfway through the town, they found a lot of cars turning back, and the family was even more confused about what was happening. It is only when they arrive at the exit of the town that they discover that the military has cordoned off the entire town, because there is an outbreak of an unknown virus in the town and the army has ordered everyone to return home immediately to quarantine. Everything came too suddenly. The family did not know what to do when the cliff suddenly fell a stone on the hood. They looked up and saw 2 fighter jets whizzing past from above, flying toward the town below the mountain. When everyone did not understand the reason, the fighters suddenly carpet-bombed the town. Watching homes and the explosion instantly turned to ashes, everyone showed a look of horror. It turned out that the military was willing to destroy the entire town to remove the virus at any cost. Before everyone could get over it, they saw the fighter jets flying back toward them. People could only scatter and run away. In the chaos, Claire suddenly remembered that the nearby school had a shelter, so the family ran to the school. At the last moment of the fighter jet bombing, they hid in the shelter without any danger, since the place was built as an underground fortress for the war. There was plenty of food and drinking water, as well as some books and few toys. The daughter confused and asked her father how long they were going to stay here, but Dad is not sure. He may have to wait until the virus completely disappears. A short time is certainly not out of the, but at least there is enough food here to hide for a while and then see. But not expected this hiding to be 300 days, and the virus seems to have gone out of control. There is a terrible monster outside. They call it the breathing monster. For this reason also developed a special daughter absolutely cannot violate the rules. The first absolutely no loud talking. The second absolutely cannot lose control of emotions. The third absolutely do not open the door to go out. The fourth absolutely cannot mention the breathing monster, but staying in such an environment for a short period is acceptable. Long-term anyone will have a nervous breakdown, let alone a lively and active little girl. Her only company is a rag doll that has burst. Dad is more patient and usually, in addition to playing Monopoly with her, will tell her many small stories. Although the family has never been outside since then, through the outstretched mirror see that the world outside had long been deserted. Ray told his daughter that they were probably the only humans left in the world, all thanks to the shelter and the enough food. But the food is a bit single except for canned soybeans or canned peaches, and the number of canned peaches is also very small. Wanting to eat a can must be voted on by the family. This day the girl had to get her parents' consent to open a can, only to find it empty. A closer look at the side actually opened a hole by the mouse. The family's canned yellow peaches were even shortchanged by rats. The entire 12 cans were eaten by rats, which added to the already poor family's woes. The mouse was soon caught red-handed, and Ray slowly approached with a knife. The mother and daughter were looking forward to it, thinking they would have meat to eat tonight. As a result, Ray's knife stab missed. The mouse also knocked over the oil lamp on its way to escape, and Claire finally solved the mouse. The knocked over oil lamp ignited the table, and breakage of the glass cover. The leaking kerosene instantly started a fire. After some effort, the family finally put out the fire when a new problem appeared. The daughter looked at the skylight in horror. The smoke from the burning was run out of the skylight, which would likely expose the location. Ray was optimistic. He thought that even if they saw the smoke when they arrived here, has long since disappeared, and they could not find where it came out. Still, Claire did not think so because the burning can not only produce smoke but also produce a lot of dust if piled up in the skylight, which will certainly also be found. Ray took out a mirror to look outside and found a lot of dust piled up in the window. To prevent detection, they decided to risk going out to deal with it. Just cover up the dust. But soon a few minutes passed. Waiting inside, the girl did not see the parents return in time, but with a turn of the mirror, a black shadow suddenly appeared in the woods towards the shelter. The terrible breathing monster appeared. The girl could only shout. Unfortunately, the distance is too far. Parents cannot hear. In an emergency, She had to run to the exit to use her thin body to hold open the iron door above, but looking around and did not see their figures. In her anxious search, suddenly a pair of large hands will be her dead cover. The original was the mother. The father heard the sound immediately, also ran over to ask what happened. Still, the girl was just about to say, found something terrible was approaching. It turned out to be a false alarm, just some running wild deer. Ray rushed to comfort his frightened daughter. Looking at the frightened fleeing deer, Claire felt that there must be something terrible chasing them. She turned to look back, but the darkness of the woods revealed an indescribable eeriness. They must return to the shelter as soon as possible for safety's sake. However, at the moment of closing the door, Ray noticed that a breathing monster was approaching, and he rushed to lock the door firmly with numerous chains. Claire reassured her daughter not to make a sound, but she was too young to control her cries. Her father told her to close her eyes and told her a little story. She then calmed down, but the terrible thing is that the breathing monster did not leave. It has constantly been hovering on the ground. The heavy footsteps reveal the breath of death. They even breathed very carefully. Watching the breathing monster towards the door of the shelter, a bad feeling instantly rushed to the heart. They cautiously followed and found that the breathing monster was trying to open the iron door. The tension was suddenly depressed to the extreme, and all they could do was pray. Luckily, the sound did not take long to stop. But when the parents just breathed a sigh of relief and looked at their daughter next to them, they found that she looked panicked. And it turned out that the rag doll in her hand happened to be hanging on the pipe behind her. As soon as the pull ring was released, the doll would make a sound, which made their hearts rise to their throats. But the next second, the accident happened. Ray grabbed the doll and took out the speaker as fast as he could, then threw it on the ground and crushed it. The couple stared at the shelter's exit, hoping that the sound had not disturbed the breathing monster. After a few minutes, the two finally breathed a sigh of relief but did not know that the iron door was being twisted. Although the chains temporarily stopped the breathing monster, it was only a matter of time before it was opened. Seeing that the chains were being ripped off one by one, Ray rushed to find a tool that could be used while Claire climbed up and physically tugged on the door. At the critical moment, Ray arrives in time to fight back with the steel pipe. After a lot of resistance, the breathing monster is finally driven away, and Ray takes the opportunity to lock the door with a steel pipe. Although lucky to escape, this place is no longer safe because the breathing monster in groups will certainly come again in a short time. And indeed it did not take long for the whole ground to begin to shake violently, as can be felt quite a lot. They had just arrived at the door and were ready to resist again, but the iron door was destroyed the next second. As the iron door fell down the ground, countless breathing monsters appeared at the door. The family could only run deeper into the shelter and turned around to find that the breathing monsters had followed them in. Claire picks up an oil lamp to seal the entrance, but this will only last for a while. The two of them rush to use the wooden shelves where the supplies are stacked to block them and prepare to escape through the skylight. Ray smashed the wooden panel of the window and sent mother and daughter out, but when he was ready to go out, he found that the hole was too small to get out. Can't get out of it. Ray thought of a cruel way. He let Claire grab his hand, and with a sound of cracking bones, Ray directly broke his arm, which was just enough to get out, but the result is not satisfactory. Catching up with the breathing monster grabbed his thighs. Before he could say a word, he was dragged straight in. Then came a scream. Powerless mother and daughter can only desperately escape. Did not run out long before the helicopters in the sky found them. They did not feel happy about it, but instead, they continued to run in fear. Soon a large net came down from the sky and trapped them firmly inside. In the daughter's frightened gaze, breathing monster finally revealed its true form. The human armed forces. The family of three were the real viruses infected. Once the emotions are out of control, they will mutate. In the beginning, the town has been infected with the virus. Claire noticed a physical difference when the family entered the shelter. In order not to be wiped out by the human race, they can only hide in the dark underground fortress and are now about to end their life. Because they could not find a cure, the humans had to kill them. In the nick of time, a completely mutated Ray rushes out. He went head-to-head with the armed forces to protect his family and was eventually outnumbered and shot dead. But Ray's death also completely enraged the trapped mother and daughter. When the soldiers turn around and find that the net has been broken, Claire attacks the armed forces from the shadows. After taking out several soldiers, she was hit by bullets and was about to be killed. The daughter, hiding, also mutated. She leaped from the roof of the car and threw the soldiers to the ground, constantly attacking them. It was only when Claire came to a stop that she gradually calmed down and did not let the killing go on. Before the arrival of reinforcements, the two continued to the escape, finally hiding in the sewers, but also met the neighbor's boy. Opening a hidden maintenance hole cover was a new shelter where many infected people were gathered. Mother and daughter returned to the dimly lit underground fortress.